The question on everybody's mind is, what are Azimio really up to? What is the next step after the chairman of the IEBC declared William Ruto president-elect? Because it is clear that Raila Odinga and his team are playing their cards very close to their chests, so that nobody knows what they're going to do next until it actually unfolds. Now, granted, the current situation in Kenya, political situation, is very confusing. It's puzzling. A lot of people cannot make any sense out of it. And when you go on social media, you get even more confused. Because, for instance, Raila Odinga told us that legally what Chebukati did is null and void, and he gave us the reasons, and even quoted a case, minor KI case, a precedent, which was later affirmed by the Supreme Court. Yeah? So it looked like a very sure thing. And then you go on social media, and a reputable lawyer says something completely different. Just leaves Kenyans puzzled. Yes, I want to believe Raila, but this is a lawyer. Lawyers don't just talk. So it's a difficult time for anybody trying to analyze Kenyan politics. Because on one hand, we don't know what Azimio are up to. We don't know what they're going to do next. And on the other hand, social media is flooded with expert opinion. Well, let's have a go at this one, to clarify everything so that it's very clear to all of us going forward. But before I do that, let me give you a parable. Actually, somebody sent me an email today that made my day. Let me just read it out verbatim. Here goes. Somebody has been given a bone to chew for a minute, for the sake of the country. Let me repeat that. Somebody has been given a bone to chew for a minute, for the sake of the country. That's a parable. What does it mean? What did this nice lady mean? Because in my opinion, she totally understands the political situation in Kenya today as we speak. Now, chew on that as we continue. I will address it again at the tail end of this video. Okay? So, let's continue. Now, before I tackle the issue of what Azimio are up to, let us tackle the issue of why there's so much confusion. Why Kenyans don't know what to think. Now, it is important that we all understand, and I'm really just reminding you, that William Ruto, the Deputy President, inherited the President's Strategic Communications Unit, that is Itumbi and Company, which wreaked havoc during the 2017 general elections. You'll remember that. There are all kinds of fake stories online, all kinds of propaganda. In fact, even I was initially fooled, because I went onto social media and I gauged the situation. I didn't know what was going on, and I started jumping to conclusions. So I wouldn't blame anybody who is fooled even today. Now, these propaganda peddlers have been working for the Deputy President since immediately after the handshake. And they have been very effective. Okay? They really swayed many people's opinions on the BBI. More recently, they convinced very many Kenyans that the deputy president is so popular in Kenya today that his popularity rivals that of Raila Odinga. I believe there are many of you out there who are still convinced about that. Yeah? And I don't blame you. How do they do it? They do it by dominating social media. Fake accounts purchased from India. These accounts, of course, are not real people. Yeah? But they're used as handles by these guys. And what happens is that when you go online, you get the impression that there are very many people thinking the same. Yeah? And therefore, you follow the herd psychology. Like in a herd of cattle. Yeah? Mob psychology, we call it. Very effective. Now, I've done several videos talking about the methods these guys use, to peddle their propaganda and lies and half-truths, etc., etc. So I'll not dwell on that here. Let me stick to our topic for today. Now, you will remember, immediately after we voted on the 9th of August, these people were very busy. They started releasing very early results, even when the votes were still being counted, telling us that certain people had won, UDA of course. And the whole idea was to give us the image and the impression that already the deputy president was winning by a landslide everywhere. His candidates were winning. The deputy president was winning. That was the whole idea. Indeed, if you are very unfamiliar with Kenya and you came online, you would be convinced that Raila Odinga is a political dwarf who has no idea what he's doing. Yeah. Now, in retrospect, we now understand why they were doing that. Yeah, and it's for the simple reason that they were trying to drive the narrative that the deputy president is capable of receiving the votes we actually saw him receiving. Now, many reports have come out from all over the country. Yeah. There are reports all over the place from governors in Mount Kenya region, from candidates who witnessed what was going on. The long and short of it is that there was massive rigging. As I've put it in a video before this one, it was ballot stuffing on steroids. Oh yes. Now, to give the impression that these were real votes, that's what Itumbi and company were doing. But fast forward to the present. What are they doing? They've drowned and flooded social media with the narrative that all is lost for Azimio. They have even told us in advance that the Supreme Court is going to affirm William Ruto as president. Raila Odinga's petition, which has not been launched, but they're already predicting, will be thrown out. And lawyers are doing a lot of talking. It's all part of this plan by William Ruto's camp to get Kenyans thinking in one direction, to get Kenyans accepting the presidency of William Ruto, despite everything that has happened. Of course, another objective is to drown out all the stories coming out of fishy things going on during the elections. Now, I want to ask you a question. Wewe unajua lawyers? Do you understand lawyers? Have you dealt with any lawyers? Many Kenyans have not dealt with lawyers. The world over, lawyers have a reputation for being, I don't know which English word to use, for being slippery, dodgy. for not being honest. Okay? They usually know which side of their bread is buttered, and they lean on that side. Put bluntly, most lawyers, not all, most lawyers will not let the truth of the law get in the way of the agenda they're pushing for fees, for profit, to make money. Because the truth of the matter is that the issue before the nation of Kenya right now is not a legal opinion over who will win the Supreme Court battle on the presidency, which we don't even know will ever take place. Yeah, because things are still unfolding. We still have developments, some of which I have seen, which suggest that we may never get there. That's the truth. Folks, let us just be very honest with ourselves. What is most important for the nation called Kenya right now? I will tell you. The most important thing for the nation called Kenya right now is to get our act together and to ensure that every vote cast by a Kenyan counts. That's really the issue. Let me put it in another way. And I'll do that by asking you a question. How do you win a presidential election in Kenya? I know you'll shoot back very quickly and tell me by becoming popular and getting the majority of the votes. Are you sure? Because in 1992, the least popular candidate, the late President Daniel Toroitich arap Moi, won that election. In that election, the person who had the most votes was a man called Kenneth Matiba. He was the most popular presidential candidate, but he lost those elections. The person who won was the person with the least votes, Moi. In 1997, the same thing happened. Yeah, both those elections were rigged. In 2002, that was a special year, because for the first time, the votes of Kenyans counted, and Mwai Kibaki and the opposition was swept into power. In 2013, the candidate with less votes won. In 2017, the same. And in 2022, we are going in the same direction. Yeah, or so most people think. Okay? Now, what does that tell you? What are we telling our young people? The clear message here is that you don't have to be the most popular candidate to win the presidency. All you have to do is to be smart and sly and crafty to take the necessary shortcuts. Hire refugees from South Sudan. Put them up in a house in South Sea. Get them marking ballot papers well in advance. Yeah, and of course refugees just need to be threatened with deportation, and they will not say a word. They will not reveal your secret. Smuggle in ballot papers through Somalia, Uganda, etc., etc., and stuff ballot boxes and win the presidency. That is how you win the presidency in Kenya so far. And I've given you evidence. 92, 97, 2013, 2017. So in my opinion, before we even start discussing legal issues and arguing about them, we need to discuss how to ensure that the vote of the Kenyan is respected. That's really what it is. That is really the helpful discussion that should be going on social media. But we have been drowned in UDA narrative, UDA agenda. Pictures of Raila Odinga crying after losing the election. Pictures of Otwoli looking very tired, etc., etc. The real issues which will help the country, the real issues which will work towards a better Kenya, have been thrown out of the window. Not important, not relevant. What is relevant is that Ruto must be president, must be president. Ruto must be president. Eh? Lazima. Mpende msipende. What? So, I hope going forward you will ignore what you see on social media. Yeah, the social media, like the IEBC, has been captured totally. UDA dominated. So forget about it. That is not the place to get clarity. That is not the place to seek the truth. If you're looking for the truth, no way. You know, this UDA gang are shameless. They have even invaded our private WIB, Weekly Intelligence Briefings, forum. Yeah. People invaded that forum writing in capital letters. Even before Ruto was declared. Yeah. Ruto will be declared president-elect. Screaming capital letters. The Supreme Court will affirm the victory of William Ruto. Screaming letters. They have really disrupted things there. These people are everywhere. You need to remember, these are full-time workers hired by UDA. Yeah, and they're on social media 24/7. Okay, that's their work. And I'm sure you'll agree with me, UDA sycophants, those are the last people on earth who will give you the truth. The only thing they'll give you in every single opinion, no matter how well disguised it is, the only thing they'll give you is Ruto must be president. Must be president. Kwani iko nini? Nakwambia hii Kenya yetu. So we've cleared that. So what are Azimio up to? Now, I can tell you that Azimio boasts of some of the best legal minds we have on the continent, not just in Kenya, on the continent. Okay? And the various legal means, very many, of dealing with a situation like this one. And I'm sure they'll pick one to deal with what is before them. And I suspect that these lawyers currently are focusing on the issue of whether or not we have a president-elect. Oh yes. This thing of a petition against an elected president, hiyo ni mbali sana. They've not reached there. And they may never need to reach there, if you get my drift. So don't get confused. Now, as promised, the parable I gave you earlier on my show today, let me just quickly repeat it. Somebody has been given a bone to chew for a minute for the sake of the country. Now, let me give you another small story, an illustration, so that we try to start to understand what this parable means. Yeah? You know somebody is a thief, and you know that this person specializes in breaking into people's houses, but you don't have any evidence. He is too smart. You can't nail him. He never leaves any fingerprints. He never leaves any trace of DNA, so you can't catch up with him. So what do? What you do is that you leave the door to your house open when you know he's hanging around. Okay? And because you know he's a thief, he will not resist the temptation. And so this thief comes in, robs you, and takes off, disappears, gets away, escapes. And people come to you and they tell you, what's wrong with you? How could you leave your door open when you knew this thief is around and is hanging around? And you know tabia zake? How could you be so foolish? You even didn't lock your door properly. What is wrong with you? And they make fun of you. But meanwhile, You had CCTV cameras inside your house. You had special equipment all over the place. It was a trap. You had detectives outside, witnessing what was happening from a distance, using modern technology. And the inconvenience of having people break into your house, invade your privacy, touch your things, disappear with a few of your things. That inconvenience, it is well worth that sacrifice, because with what you have managed to get from that situation, the evidence, this thief will never, ever steal from anybody else, let alone just you, for a very long time, maybe even forever. That is the current situation in Kenyan politics as we speak, and I have evidence to prove it. Most of the people close to the center of power have been very quiet. Haongei, hawasemi kitu. David Murathe. Even Atwoli, all Atwoli could say recently was to deny the rumors that he had resigned after the announcement of Ruto. Of course you can guess where that rumor came from. Kazi ya UDA bloggers. Kazi ya Itumbi. You should know that. These people have not been talking. Even President Uhuru Kenyatta, who loves this country so much, has not been talking. But one man close to the center of power recently released some very interesting information. Of all the information he would have given us, out of all the comments he would have made, he chose instead to tell us that he has evidence of how ballot papers were smuggled into the country through Uganda. Of course, I'm talking about Raphael Tuju. Now, isn't that interesting? Now, in my opinion, when a person close to power speaks, they usually speak about a topic related to what those guys are discussing. The really powerful people is close to. I think you get my drift. In case you haven't, get the full details in my latest Weekly Intelligence Briefings, number 83. You know, somebody had a very interesting comment to make about my latest WIB. I believe it's on your screens right now. This is the opinion of one of my WIB subscribers, which appeared as a comment on this channel. You can go and look for it and find it for yourself. But I have taken the liberty to paste it here. These are his thoughts. Okay? Now, in case you're not a subscriber to my WIB, I believe details are on your screens right now on how you can be a subscriber. We have a special offer which is expiring at any time, so please rush and take advantage of it. What is in this WIB? Well, inside this WIB, I break down the current political situation and why we are where we are now. And I give you evidence to prove what I'm saying. It is all there, explained in simple language so that you understand, and it even has a prediction of what will unfold at the end of all these manenos. Very interesting prediction. Therefore I highly recommend it. Despite what I say in WIB number 83, my latest, the truth is things in Kenya today are not good. The country is not in a good position. We're in a very vulnerable place. We're in a place where we have to clearly chart forward our future. We have to decide whether we want real change or not. We have to decide whether we want a mafia government, a government that is run like the mafia organization, or we want real change. Whether we want sweet nothings or whether we want real change in our lives, that moment has come. As I keep on saying, the new Kenya is coming. But this bridge we have to cross to reach the new Kenya that I can see on the other side of the bridge. It is so near, yet so far. Kufika hapo. Folks, pray. Pray. Very important. Very important for all of us. Very important for Mother Kenya, whom we love, at least some of us, whom we love with all our hearts. Until next time, this is Kshs. Kumekucha.